Hi, welcome back to Talk of the Town. Lavon Stevens and Jamie Lopko, representatives, stopped by the show today to explain the purpose and creation of the newly formed Hilton Head Island Gullah Geechee Land and Cultural Preservation Task Force. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sandy. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you both. So, how was the task force created?
Jamie, you was with the town. I'll let her kind of explain how it was created.
Right. Each year the Town Council has their annual workshop to determine their priorities for the year, and in 2017 one of their key priorities was dealing with heirs property.
Okay.
So based on that being one of their priorities, the Planning Commission was tasked with coming up with a committee or task force. And so it started with the Planning Commission coming up with members of the community to serve on a task force, and Town Council approved the creation of the task force and allowed them to create their own mission and scope of work, and they spent their first several months working on that.
And so what is the mission of the Gullah Geechee Task Force?
I'm happy to serve as one of the planning commissioners, and we have a couple of other commissioners, Todd Theodore and Carolyn McVitie, also are commissioners on this task force. But the mission is such. The goal of the Gullah Geechee Land and Cultural Preservation Task Force is to identify and assist in the preservation of the Gullah Geechee culture for the purpose of detecting and resolving issues specific to its community, including, without limitation, to heirs property, taxes, land use, economic and sustainability issues for an improved quality of life, and through ongoing educational programs, workshops, and seminars. So that's what we develop as our mission statement.
And so what is the background and history of the work you're tasked to do?
We've involved several other members of the community as well. I'll get in trouble if I don't get all the names right. But I think it's important that Palmer Simmons is a Native Islander.
Yes.
And of course, Shawnee Green is also a Native Islander. Ms. Martha Davis is also an advocate, and Joyce Wright serves as well. And Teresa White is very active on the committee as well. And I think that's all of our members.
We have Carolyn McVitie and Todd Theodore from the Planning Commission, and then Ibrahim.
And Ibrahim Malik as well, yeah. So we've worked very hard on this mission statement because we felt like it's important to address some of these issues that have been, really a concern for the Native Island community for the last 30, 40 years, if you will. And the town is really now starting to make some efforts to bridge that gap, as I say, and mend some fences between the Native Island community and the Gullah Geechee culture and our town officials.
And so what challenges and accomplishments have you made so far?
Well,
you're newly formed, so it's not like you've had a lot of time to really address a lot of things, but I'm sure internally you've done some organization.
It's a mixed bag. You know, we feel like we don't have to recreate the wheel. A lot of the issues have been addressed over the years. There have been several other studies and efforts and committees put in place before we came along.
Sure.
So the issues are still the same. But we have been able to identify the Native Island neighborhoods, and there's somewhat 3,000 properties that we've identified, and we've gone through and trying to see which of those are Native Islanders.
Okay.
And then we try to identify what issues they may be having. A lot of them, of course, are dealing with developmental, with the property and trying to hang on to it. And also taxes is a big thing. We lose a lot of our land and property to the tax sale.
And so how can the community help or get involved?
Well, we need people to come forward. We want to hear the stories. Among the Native Island community and the Gullah Geechee culture, and I think as a part of the culture, we tend to keep a lot of things to ourselves and solve them within our own neighborhoods. The town is here. The town is making this effort to put this task force in place. And as a part of the Planning Commission, we're going up. We have an ear to the Town Council. I think that with the leadership we have in place now, they're trying to hear what the issues are as it affects the preservation of our culture. We know that the preservation of the culture, if we're not here, we don't have the land, we can't preserve the culture.
Right.
So those are the challenges. We want the community to come out. We want to hear from people. You can come to the task force, you can come to Jamie Lopko at the town. She's senior planner there and is assigned to our task force and been really helpful and knowledgeable about a lot of the issues affecting our native island communities.
Thank you so much, both of you, for stopping by and sharing all that information.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back with Talk of the Town.